All right, what's good? Welcome to my channel where you'll find passionate but reasonable takes, game reviews, transfers, anything that's going on around AC Milan. Um, so if that's what you're looking for, congratulations. Today we'll start with a game review, the most recent one and the first competitive game review of the 25-26 season. Italian Cup. I was not really anticipating that I would make this video in the middle of August here, but what happened last season, so here we are. Regardless, it's not all bad. It's not all bad. Okay, so I watched the game. I have my notes here in front of me. So what we're gonna do is just kind of review, and I'll just share my opinions, thoughts, because much like all of the AC Milan fans these days, I'm also hoping that this season we're going to make it work. But in order to make it work, we'll need a few things to happen. And I've seen those, at least parts of those things in this game. So let's break it down, okay? I'll start with the pregame stuff, preparations and all that. There was not a huge press conference. Instead, the assistant coach, which was funny because Allegri's first game back at AC Milan, he was suspended. So that's a good start. That's a good start. Let's hope for better. But yeah, there was no official press conference. What he said, he was just talking about the game and thanking the fans that were going to show up at this game, which honestly I think was a subtle poke at the Curva Sud, who is a supporter group of AC Milan, part of the stadium that are the hardcore, kind of fans when it comes to AC Milan, and they have a whole lot of beef going on with the club, which I'm not even gonna it needs an entirely separate video right now. But at face value, this little comment of, oh, thank you for the fans that are going to show up, is a subtle dig at the Curva Sud, who said, you know what, club, fuck you, we're not going to be there because you're being total bitches about our banners and whatnot. Which I'll have my thoughts on that. So we're probably going to get into that later. But, that's what it is. Curva Sud has some stuff banned. So they're like now little babies and saying, oh, I'm not going to go. So that was Allegri's comments on that. He did comment on Bari, which was, mandatory lines of, we'll have to be respectful of our opponent because, imagine you're like, all right, they're not as good as we are. So we're going to score about 6 goals and we're just going to, just fly into the next round like that. And then you lose and then you look like the idiot. So, of course, he was going to be just like, yeah, they're a good team, blah, 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 whatever. So that was just the mandatory niceties. So I was looking at the starting 11 pregame, and it was this 3-5-2 formation that they did in the preseason as well. I like it. When the players are on the field, they're going to move, the formation's going to change, and we did see that in this game, I thought. Now, one of the things that I was following three seasons ago, I think, I was following the general discourse around AC Milan, and Alexis Salamakers was one of the players that everybody just loved to hate because, for whatever reason, I don't know. I don't really know, because honestly, and hear me out, I love that guy. I absolutely love that guy because that guy just goes. He's in there. He runs. He does the little feints, little tricks, he passes, he shoots. He has the mentality that we need. I absolutely love that guy. And I was so happy to see him back in the starting 11. Obviously, Pulisic, America! Pulisic was there, scored a goal, great. All right, so as the game started, it was a little concerning, honestly, because it kind of looked like Bari had the game plan, and their game plan was to surprise us. They had those long passes forward, long shots, and even in the here, let me just look at the notes here. Even in the first minute, they had a shot early on. It was not on goal, but it was a sign of things to come, if you will. And then in the 10th minute, they did it again. They had a counterattack with a long shot, once again, not really threatening the goal, but I was like, all right, it's quite clear what you want to do at this point. So I was kind of wondering what Milan would do, which was just good. Like, it was good. What I saw from the team was good, okay? Even at the beginning, it was very clear that we're gonna be possession based, which I liked. There was a lot of passing going on, looking for openings. This was not bad. It was a good start. In the 14th minute came the first goal. Leao header in from Tomori's, of all people's, cross. You can make a case for Leao being very open and nobody really caring about him, but that's what he does. That was what he does. So I was very happy with it. And then 2 minutes later, he gets injured, so he gets substituted off. Let's see what else happened. There were a few good moments of high pressing after the 20th minute to win the ball back. I absolutely love that. That's what we need. Go up and get the freaking ball back. There were a few quick attacks that we did, quick passing. Pulisic had a shot off target. He hit the crossbar. He really wanted that goal, and a lot of people did, and that's what I really enjoyed about the game, is that people wanted to prove themselves. So it was 1-0 going into the break. It was just a good, solid performance. And then coming into the second half, what I really enjoyed is that the intensity was the same. 48th minute, shortly after the start, boom, Santi Jimenez passes into Pulisic in that box. Pulisic, perfect turn, just passes it into goal. 2-0, confident, great stuff. Loftus-Cheek, one other highlight of the game. He was just good, man. He was in there. He was available. He made the blocks, but he went forward, kind of like that box-to-box type midfielder. He just did what he needed to do. Let's see what else happened. 64th minute. Modric comes in. He had a few chances, had a corner, didn't come too much. He had a few good passes, and I think it was in the 76th minute here, where he just, got the ball just inside the box there, and he had a few like twists and turns, and he kind of just made a fool of that defender at the age of like 56. That was good to see, but then his shot was kind of just straight at the keeper, so that would have been nice. But even now, I think he's going to be great. 81st minute, Okafor comes in for Salamakers. Salamakers was just an absolute machine on that field. I'm telling you, that guy, he just goes, man. He was just good, man. I like that guy, and I really hope that he's going to get the goals, the assists. He just deserves it, man, because he has the mentality to make himself great. And Okafor didn't really do much in that 10 minutes. Oh yeah, and in the 90th minute, Modric kind of dribbled into the area, like in front of goal. That was kind of nice to see, but I think he was trying to be too nice, pass it across for someone to just tap it in instead of grabbing the goal himself. When it comes to Bari, they didn't do much. Like, they just didn't get the chance to do much. Actually, there was one shot that they had in the 39th minute. They had that shot where the ball was on the left side, just outside the box, and then they had a long shot, and Magnan had to like kind of just dive like that across to just keep it out. It was fabulous. That shot was great. The save was for the cameras. That was beautiful. I was actually thinking about using that as the thumbnail, but honestly, that was the only shot that Bari had pretty much. So it's just no point. It's just something to be happy about. Needless to say, 2-0 win, go home, be happy about it. And that's what pretty much the post-match interview was from Landucci, who's the assistant coach. He just said, oh, this was a nice win. It was a good team effort. And honestly, yeah, that's what it was. It was a professional effort. It was what you would expect from a top team against a lower team in the first round of the Cup, if you need to play in the first round of the Cup in the middle of August, okay? So, yeah, it was a professional display. The assistant coach also thanked the 70,000 fans that showed up to this game. I don't know if they're just taking digs at the Curva Sud at this point. I don't know. Honestly, maybe. Biggest positives was the game philosophy. That was the best thing for me, hands down, okay? They looked like someone that wants to win, that wants to earn the win. They weren't, like on the ground too much, just rolling around. Oh my gosh, my leg. No, there was nothing like that. It was very professional, and that's what I like to see. That's what I really like to see. So that was good. That's my biggest positive. Now, the biggest opportunity for improvement is frickin' spot kicks. Corners, free kicks, useless. Still, okay? This was not a new thing. We've been shit at corners and free kicks for so long. And maybe with Modric, maybe with Ricci, I thought, okay, this is the time. Maybe with Allegri coming in, he was going to be like, all right, we're going to work on that. Now, if you had, didn't show. Player of the match. The official player of the match was my boy Salamakers. I can see that. He was doing everything that he could. He had the mentality, but he had no assist. He had no goal. He didn't really make those key plays. My player of the match was Pulisic because he also had those little dribbles that he needed to get past the opponent, to make himself available. And he did get the goal. He was in there. He got, he was in the position to receive the pass from Jimenez. And then he just, put it away nicely as you should. I'm giving my player of the match to Pulisic. And that's pretty much it. We're on to the second round. Shouldn't be too much of a challenge either, but we'll have to see who we get. But yeah, this was just a good start. It was just a good start. I can't really be unhappy. I'm not ecstatic, but I can't be too unhappy with this performance. All right, that's what it is. I'll see you in the next video. Leave a comment. Tell me if you agree with me. Tell me if you don't agree with me. Tell me if you hate Salamakers, because honestly, I would just love to start a fight with everyone in the comments saying they hate Alexis. So I'm going to defend my boy. Also, if you go after Pulisic, you're dead. But hey, give it a shot. Give it a shot. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.